Does anybody have any questions? It only seems to be a small group today, so Xavier, if you don't mind making me check the room. Stacy can't make it because I guess there's a Gilman lacrosse game today. And I think it's you know, varsity and JV. We'll see. All right, let's start with the first one. All right. So I have yet to sketch these, which makes it fun for me, in that it's an exploration. So I think the thing that I'm going to start with is the pod. Is this central pod, and then I'm going to build the rings of structure around it, whatever they might be. So inside this pod, there's this inner circle, and that you can almost like see that there's like a ring around it. It could be like it seals the cabin or whatever. And then there's almost like a triangle. That's like the base, and then there's like an arched dome along the top, and then there's a guy in there who also has a helmet on, which is like a bubble. Wow, that's wild. I was not as concerned with the figure than I was the ship, but I mean, you got to figure someone's got to steer the ship, right, Kristen? Someone's got to steer this thing.
Indeed.
All right. So as far as the, I mean, I did not intend on doing the man inside, so I haven't even thought about him. It goes from shoulder to elbow, and then it goes elbow to wrist, and then he's got his little hand on the joystick controlling this thing. So you can kind of think about it like a video game, I guess. There's like the front of his torso. It doesn't look like there's a seat of any kind, but there does seem like there's a reflection off of the back of this thing. He is a light figure on a, maybe this could be the part of the glass that, see how his whole back is like, there's this dark shape. It could be a reflection of the, of space. Anyway, if I were to draw this guy again, frankly, I'd probably just draw the triangle of the pod and then fill in the guy later. I kind of got involved inside of what's going on in there. Okay, now the next thing, oh, that's amazing. All right, I found one of the hidden pictures. So do you see the little sailboat right here? I'm just gonna shade it in. You see that little sailboat? This is from like the hidden.
There's also a flip-flop on that planet and moon.
Yeah, there's a flip-flop there. There's a bell in that rocket booster. And then I think there's a book in that one.
There's a hat on the furthest, furthest.
Yeah, there is. I see that. Like that Saturn, there's a hat on Saturn. So that, I mean, in a way that kind of makes it fun. Again, I have not sketched this or even like done the hidden picture of it. But the cool thing is that the next round of the ship looks almost like a blade. It almost looks like a saw blade. So I'm gonna do a rim, and it's crazy thinking about like how to create a disc around the center of this ship, without it getting too wide at any one point. So it's a circle seen from up above, but it's a circle seen from the side. So once you have something, then you can string together this series of, curved lines, which could be some kind of like power generator. It could be a moving part. It might not be a moving part. It seems like a spiral. It looks like a fan blade even. And that tends to, like, anything that goes around in a rotation like that, it feels like it's moving. It's like it could be some kind of progression. And when you're making art and you're making pictures that are in fact moving, you can use like little devices like this to make it seem like things are happening. So this one, I guess what you could call it is the first, that layer, that first rim around the center pod, you could say is two-dimensional. Whereas you want to see the next one as 3D, like it has a top side with all those little circles, then it has a side plane. And that side plane is like almost like a Frisbee. So let's widen our starship, get a next level. And then this is the part, like almost like a coin. Like if you ever drew like a quarter or a dime or anything like that, like this is the thickness of the side. And they don't give you, if it was like nickels do not have ridges, dimes and quarters do. So these little tick marks that I'm putting in here indicate the side plane. The artist didn't include them, but yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna continue on my theme. Instead of drawing actual circles, I'm gonna do, what are called ellipses, which are basically these little sideways ovals, which are circles seen from the side. I'm gonna decorate my picture with those circles, which aren't exactly circles. We could literally draw the bell if we wanted. Sometimes it's like nicer to actually draw something that we're familiar with. So we can do the side of the bell. We can do the underside of the bell, the opening, where in theory the jet propulsion is coming out. And then because it's a bell, it's hung to a string, and that's like the loop. It doesn't have an inside, like a little ringer. Does anybody know what the ringer on the inside of a bell is? I feel like it's a good vocabulary word that I may have known at one point. Where's Stacy when we need her? Like I said, Stacy's at a lacrosse game today. So Miles, if you were missing Stacy, like I am, she's at a Gilman lacrosse game. Let's see, we got somebody else in the room. Cool. If you just came in, it looks like I got Tennessee. I don't know who that is.
That's Ace Noah.
Oh, nice. What's up, Noah?
Tennessee's his mom.
We're just finishing. We're just going to finish up the rocket boosters on this thing. Hey, what's up, Miles? Can you hear me? Cool. We're going to start this second ship in a second. But frankly, if you wanted to use the Bell concept for the second booster, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's essentially the same thing, except it's got, rocket propulsion, exhaust coming out of it. Seems to be an inner section, and a middle section, and then an outer. That's cool. I mean, the only way to get space looking like space is that you've got to shade it. And I don't know if I'm in the mood for that right now. But if you had a pen, if you had like a black pen, or you could even do like a black pen. I mean, you could even do pencil. I mean, you could, in theory, shade all of space if you had that time. And the artist did. I mean, the artist inked it. So they took care of it. I can add a little bit here just to show that it is a, a light space shuttle up against a dark ground, but I can't, this is just a warm up. So we're going to draw some actual space shuttles from NASA and from Tesla. Should be kind of cool. At least the designs that they put out.
You mean SpaceX?
I've never been in one. I think I was going to, yeah. What is the SpaceX one called?
SpaceX.
I mean, I have one saved. We'll see what, I have one on I have one that I downloaded. So we'll see what it looks like. I've never drawn that before either. It is amazing, like how solid areas of a picture, really make it look good. I mean, light figures on dark grounds, they might be a little bit tedious to put in. But if you have like charcoal or, ink, black ink, or even with pencil, you can smooth these areas out. They do actually look pretty cool. And if you're like tired or bored, you can, this doesn't take a lot of mental energy to shade. A lot of certain art projects are kind of like that. Like some take a lot of mental energy in order to understand and put the right marks in the right place. Other times, it's just tedious. Like you have to cover these large areas, and if you're painting like a bouquet of flowers and it's like a bunch of little ones, you have to paint the same ones over and over again. I mean, it's just you have to change your mindset and thinking like, okay, this is going to be a while and it's going to be repetitive, and it can be very meditative. It's interesting. Some things can be like intellectually challenging. Other things can be, almost like challenge your patience in a way. Okay. Should we just do the one below it? I don't know. I mean, the one below it is fine. I think it actually looks good. There's some pretty cool designs on here though. Let's do the one below and see how that guy works. You see any hidden pictures other than the book? I don't think it has anything. All right, well, the last one I started with the pod, and honestly, I don't think it's a bad place to start with this one either. So I'm gonna do my ring, this like almost like, it's like a seal on the glass dome that like peeks up. And then the artist has come up with this kind of like symbolic helmet that they're wearing. This figure is a lot easier. It's basically just essentially a smiley face. The artist has made a background as well, behind the figure that is dark. Who knows why? It does have a nice effect. I think it is supposed to like look like the interior of the space rather than the reflection of outer space. But all right, so from here we can see that the thing is basically built like a kind of like a cucumber or a bullet. I guess it's more of a bullet, but the bullet is broken into 4 parts. So if we follow the middle of the bullet back from our pod, let's just follow the middle back. And then we'll get to the rocket booster. There's a rocket booster frame, and then there's like the rockets that come out the back. Now, when I said it was broken into 4 parts, I actually meant it. Like if you were to slice this ship in half long ways, there's a clear top of the ship and a bottom of the ship. And then there's a clear left side and right side. So this line that I just did here is defining the right side of the ship, which you see all of that side. And then there's a little bit of the left side. So that seems easy to me. So let's just put in the far side of the ship. And maybe even where it comes in front. The little front hatch is kind of interesting. It's like, the bottom of it is the halfway mark, and then it's a horizontal chunk out of it. Cool. Let's just do that right now. So we're going to come forward. We'll arc the side sliced, and then wherever this bottom portion is, that's going to be the halfway mark. So I got the top of the bullet and its sealer. And then we can use our X-ray vision and just like pretend the book isn't there, just like remove the book, and you get the bottom or the side of the bullet. It's the bottom, which is and also the silhouette of the edge. Where the top of the ship meets the bottom of the ship, it's going to be this line. So top A is 1, top 2 is 2, and the bottom we'll say 3. So those are 3 of the 4 sides, and you can't see the other side. Number 3 goes completely under. Number 2 goes to the other side, and you don't see where the 4th panel at all. I think you guys can see that. I guess it's got windows. So I guess due to, I don't know, it's kind of a good idea to repeat the same forms over and over again. So this guy doesn't have very many ellipses. There's a little bit of an ellipse on the seal of that pod, But then, you know, all the other ship, like the ship that we just drew has all these ellipses in it. So there's a window, a series of 4 windows that has ellipses, meaning that they're these like crushed ovals and they have little dark centers, which you could assume, I'm just assuming they're windows. It's a cartoon. It's not necessarily outer space bound, literally. Okay, so here, cool. We'll erase this back line and then we'll draw this book in perspective. I love that, you know, how there's like solid 2-dimensional shapes in the ellipses. There's also a row of bolts that run where the 2 pieces of metal are like combined. You know, those are all 2-dimensional shapes and they're really helpful for decoration. There's also some stripes along the base as that metal enters into the rocket booster in the back. And then we have 4 sides of the bullet, and then we're going to have 3 sides of the 4-sided or the 8-sided book. So here's the top of the book. That's where you'd see the title, Title. And then you'd see the binding of the book. Make that maybe a little curvy. And then we'll see the pages of the book. My book does not look like it's attached to the side of the ship. How's it look? Is that Xavier?
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Will you hold it a little closer? I might stop the share to look at it. Yeah, it looks great. Do you have the, yeah, and you did the boat on the other side too. Okay, cool. I guess these are supposedly wings, these little book-shaped things. It's just an excuse to hide the book. There's a little Martian antenna on the top of that guy's helmet. I mean, I find these actually much more entertaining when we draw the actual ships. Oh yeah, dude. Nice. Okay, good. You're getting into it. Makes me happy. Is that Miles? I think that was Miles. Yeah. Good work, dude. Again, do outer space at your will. There's stars. You could do like shooting stars. It's just going to take a little while to shade the whole thing.
Mr. Twist,
Yes.
is this our last drawing class in this group?
I don't think so. Why?
My mom said it was just ending soon, and I was
it
just curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think everybody has this week and next week, and then it's not that it ends, it just there's a re-registration.
Yeah.
We'll send out a note. I'll send out a notification.
Okay. I just was a bit confused.
Do you think you'll keep going?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, it's 4:22. Should we get to the regular one? Let's take 3 more minutes on this and we'll get us the 4. I'm gonna just show the rest of them and then I'll work on it. If you wanted to try, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. There, look, do you see the whistle?
Yeah.
I'm into that. This is the
Mr.
rest of the
Twist,
Yeah.
next class, can we draw the wolf that I sent to you?
Yeah, we can. That one is super intense, and I think I have it saved. Yeah, that'll be good. It'll take.
I see the baseball bat on one of the rocket ships, and the first row of it go down 2, and on the engine.
I also see chili peppers.
I see that chili pepper right here.
Yeah. And then there's a wind up on one of them, like it's a wind up toy.
The chili pepper here. There's a whistle right here. That was the one that I saw immediately.
Is
Go
this a
below.
coloring book?
There's a baseball bat here.
Yeah, that's right.
Is this a coloring book? Oh, there's bananas on the one at the bottom.
Nice. Got a banana.
There's like a key on one of them.
I think this is an umbrella, actually. You might not be able to tell from where you are. The key, yeah, I think that's got to be a thing. That might be part of the ship. We found the bell. There's like Merlin's cap somewhere. And then there's like an oil can somewhere as well.
Yeah, it's,
I think
this
is like
is.
a piece of
There's
pie.
a piece of toast on the
That's a
big
piece
one
of-
at the bottom.
That's a piece of toast. That might be a whole loaf of bread. Anyway, no, it's toast. That's the oil can right here. Nice. This looks like something, doesn't it? Ooh, is that a thread? Is that a spool?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, that's a spool. That's definitely one of them. We found the baseball cap up here.
Where's the ladle?
We found the boat. We found the bell. We found the book.
What about hockey stick or ladle?
Yeah, I don't see. I know what the ladle is. Yeah, it is. I was like, I'll find that really fast. The hockey stick. That's a stretch. That is a stretch for a hockey stick. That's not what a hockey stick looks like.
Oh, I see it.
It's I mean, that'd be a broken hockey stick. If it was.
Where is it, Coulter?
It's in the middle row of it. If you go down, it's like the dead middle one on the side of it. It's hooked around the front.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, nice work.
And then we need a crown.
Oh.
This bad boy up here. Hockey stick, ladle, banana. I'm telling you, man, these games. I mean, I met one of the ladies that does this. She didn't do this one. This artist is named Lynn Martin. But Maggie Swanson, she made these for years. She said the highlights people.
I see the crown.
Where is it?
You see the last one on the page? All the way bottom left. Do you see the thruster?
Nice, dude. Nice work. That's it, right? Yeah. It's the
I
bottom.
also see a baguette on one of them.
I wish there was a baguette. Where?
But like it actually looks like one.
That looks like a croissant right here.
No, that's not it. It's
Right
two ones to the right. And then behind the pilot, like out of the cockpit.
That's more like a croissant.
I don't see the baguette. Oh, this one.
Yep.
I wonder if it is a thing. I don't know if it's a thing. This is what if I zoomed out far enough, it shows you the other things. Ooh, we didn't find the tack yet. See the tack down here? And there's a nail.
Oh, I see.
And the Merlin hat. I don't know if
The
this,
hat is on the front of the middle one. The one closest to the right. Yeah, that one.
a hood ornament.
I found all of them by accident.
I know. That's the other thing. I tell the kids, I'm like, you can actually just color it and you'll find stuff, or you can like search for it. I would like to find that tack though.
Oh, I see it. It's also on the one with the hat.
Oh, right here. Good call, dude. Good call. That looks like a flashlight right here.
Coulter has an eagle eye today.
Nice job, Coulter.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All we need is the nail, and then I swear we will be done with this one. Oh, there it is. Yes. It's a little easier for me because it's bigger. I was looking.
We have solved the puzzle.
The puzzle's been accomplished. Yeah, we crushed it. Maybe I'll try to contact Lynn Martin. Look at all this. Look at all this infinite space, infinite void.
Are you just gonna draw a ton of tanks or something?
And I had not planned on it.
I think Ben McWilliams would be happy with that.
With the tanks.
And I think Charles would be happy too.
By the way, if you say tank shoot out missiles, I am literally gonna stop working.
It's called shells. I get it.
It is.
I finished the tank and I bought 2 more models. Do you want to see my models that I bought?
Yes, we do.
And we'll probably sketch from them eventually.
PI. Oh, look at this.
I actually had a good time putting it together. Once I realized that I didn't have to use like the obnoxious super glue, I was like, the glue gun works. I got the is that, by the way, do you read this in reverse or do you read this in, like straight up?
We read it straight up. Like that's what it does.
I figured.
The
I'm seeing
B-25J
it.
Mitchell.
It's like a bomber.
Cool.
Pretty sweet.
I don't see it. Oh, now I see it.
And then this is the
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
anyway, it's an airplane. It was the only airplane that I took an interest in. And then I also kind of
You should get the B-26.
I got the Titanic.
You should get a B-26. The B-26 is the plane that dropped the 2 nuclear bombs the only 2 nuclear bombs that were used
At
entire
Hiroshima.
world.
Mr. Twist.
Place
Also,
it.
another cool plane is called the A10 Warthog.
Yes,
just,
it
like-
is. It is.
They just like fly in and then they just like they have ginormous bullets in them and they're like miniguns on the side of them and then they just like shoot them and they like blow out tanks easily.
I think I did see a Warthog at the store.
Literally, me and my dad watched a video of them and they're like insane.
We'll see. This might be my entry into like military machinery, weaponry. All right, should we try this one? Which one do you want to do first? And should we start from the bottom and move up, or should we start from the top and go down?
I'm literally almost finished with the one with the American flag on it.
Okay.
I say the top.
Both
down.
of them have American flags on it.
Yeah, I know, but I think he means the one on the left. You mean the one on the left, right?
Yeah, the one with the gold.
All right. Oh, the one on the right. So I'm going to start with my center line. And I'm going to really hope that, yeah, okay, good. So I'm going to go center. Why is that not straight? Ooh, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to cheat, but I'm going to use the edge of the paper. Okay, so this is straight for me. So that needs to be straight for you. Okay. So I think the idea behind these is that it's going to be this center line is going to be a barbecue skewer. So we're just going to build, a bunch of shapes symmetrically. And if we start at the top, let's start at the top. The top is a triangle, very teeny triangle. And then we're going to add a rectangle, a thin rectangle. I don't know if it's going to fit on the page. I better be careful. It's already a little thick. And then do you see if there's like that little grate right here? It's that little trapezoidal grate. So it needs 2 sides and then a trapezoidal outside. So the nice thing about this picture is that it's symmetrical and 2-dimensional. So both of those factors should make it easier, meaning whatever's on the left of the circle is on the right, and whatever is on the left and the right is going to be exactly the same. Okay, so I've got this little grid. I'm actually even going to draw the 4 squares to show that there's a space in there so you know what I'm talking about. Because my grade is like way, way, way too big. Then we're going to add the next, probably might be the first, it might be the only equilateral triangle, meaning this triangle has 3 equal sides.
Which one are you drawing?
I'm going to draw this one. Sorry. I mean, in theory, I could draw them at the same time. Wow. That would be crazy.
Now that is a Mr. Twister right there.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take that as like the
Double
nice
drawing.
double drawing. So the one on the right is taller, but it starts with a triangle anyway. Little teeny triangle. Then that has a long needle point as well. Needle point rectangle. And then this is where it deviates. So now we're going to get a slightly longer triangle. And then we get introduced to a curve. And I think the one on the left, I don't think there's a curve anywhere in anything. Maybe at the bottom where the fins are. But this round, this becomes almost like an egg shape, at least half of an egg.
This is one rocket ship.
I think so, yeah. I think, well, I mean, these are 2 separate rocket ships, right?
He's just
No,
double
they're
drawing.
one. They're one.
Is the one combined?
The one on the right is the one that like brings it out of the atmosphere, or else it won't have enough fuel because that whole thing is full of fuel. And then that is the one that leaves it.
So they're not to scale. So are you saying that this one fits inside of this one?
That goes on top of it.
Crazy. That's cool.
Because on that one, it has the shuttle in it. Like you can see like the tip of the tail on the shuttle.
I don't know how it works. I haven't studied it. All right, so let's get oriented here. So we at least get the half egg, and then that has like a shiny collar. Do you see those 2 shiny lines? And then we're gonna get I don't know if it's a square, but it's pretty damn close to a square. And that's the one that holds the center of the NASA symbol. You can see the blue center NASA. That's what this is right here. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself without doing the other one. So I did this equilateral triangle, and then that equilateral triangle, I got to make it smaller. I would be screwing up if I didn't make it smaller. So make it a little thinner. And that holds not a rectangle, not a square, but a rectangle, and it's gray. So let me just get situated. So I'll actually shade it in gray. Cool. All right, so from the gray down, we're gonna get a trapezoid. So we got the left side, the right side. And this exercise is like, if you get a good rocket, if it looks exactly like the rocket, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. It's kind of like an excuse to practice making symmetry on both sides. So you're kind of like testing your abilities. And when I draw with my right hand, when I make this angle, it's actually hard to make the exact same angle. If you were ambidextrous, that would be ideal. So you would come in with your right hand, make this angle, come in with your left hand, make the other angle. If you can do that, I mean, I feel like that would be the best. There's a little black collar on the base of that white trapezoid. So put that on there, and then we get the
Mr. Twisted.
probably the longest single rectangle so far. And from that collar down to a black collar down to a white collar. What was that, Charlie? I think.
Never mind.
Okay.
Mr. Twist, I have to go because of COVID testing.
Okay.
Thank goodness I already had mine.
Well, good luck. I'm sorry you got the. Do you want me to send you the video? Would you watch it?
He's already gone, I think.
Oh, he was like out.
Yeah, that's sometimes what our virtual guys do. It's just like our teacher's like, you can leave, and then they're gone.
That's hilarious, actually. I mean, if it depends on the class, I guess.
But that's exactly what happens. Oh, you can leave.
You can be.
See ya. Meow. They're gone.
That's good. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more section of the.
I completed the one on the left in 2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Now that's what I should have done. I should have hit the timer. This next trapezoid that I'm putting on here is the one that's like has a stripe that's half black and half white. So the like the decoration on it can kind of help you get, keep everything straight in your mind. At least that's how I'm using it for.
I'm making like a Mandalorian armor with like checker on it right now since I finished the rockets.
Take it to level up. Level up. Like lever arte. All right, trapezoid. Now, this rocket with the gold one, it basically has the longest, I mean, it is impressive. It is, it's just like the biggest rectangle, I think, in the whole piece. So I'm gonna at least find the bottom, make sure it fits on here. And then hopefully I can determine the width and make sure my widths match up. And if the widths match up, I can run down the whole length. And you could use a ruler if you wanted. I went to architecture school. Like all we did was use rulers. We didn't even like know that you could not use a ruler. So like, when you draw and people are like, oh, you're cheating with a ruler. You're like, what? No, you're just drawing. So try not, don't like stigmatize rulers. Rulers are great. All right.
They definitely make your drawing better. That's for sure.
They make, especially when you need straight lines. Sometimes straight lines are less effective. I mean, you're doing something that's like hair or like something that's moving, like water, like fluid. Like you can still use straight lines with that. It's just it goes against its nature. But like man-made objects, for the most part, unless they're like hand-blown glass or something like that, and that's just because it's symmetrical. Anyway,
like a pencil.
Yeah, but even this pencil is full of straight lines. I mean, you can make cylindrical pencils, but I think that's octagonal. I mean, that pencil, if you look up here, if you cut it in half, a Ticonderoga, I think is either octagonal or hexagonal. And then, of course,
that's news to me.
And then you can, oh, look at that. I did it so nice. Look at that pencil. Anyway, like I said, mankind uses straight lines. You can measure it. You can chart its angle. You can measure the length from starting point to ending point. It's calculated. You can calculate the amount of materials you need. It's a very useful device, straight lines, artistically speaking and engineering wise. There's only curved lines and straight lines. I mean, and when you try to make a straight line, with your pencil, it never really is exactly straight. I mean, I have straight lines, but I mean, it's nothing like a ruler. And nor does it have to be. All right, the base of it angles in, and then they have these two kind of rocket, I think they're cylinders, to be honest with you, but seen from the side, they look like rectangles. So we can put those in. I'm gonna call that the bottom of my. I needed to get the full length, and I needed to establish the bottom before I kind of found more going on inside the rocket. And my proportions are going to be not exactly right because I want it to fit into the zoom. This is the gold section. I'm determining this is gold by toning it. I've got the American flag in that section, indicating that. And then the rest is basically going to be gold. So we put these little horizontal bands. Ooh, that's nice. There's this white arch. And believe it or not, whatever that tube is, goes right down the middle. So at least my center line is being useful. So I transferred my center line into the middle of that tube. There's some black and white checkerboard over here. I don't know what that symbolizes. Could be Purina dog chow. There's also some kind of symbolism on the bottom. 3 squares, 1 black, or 2 black, 1 white, and then there's 2 black diagonals in the middle of that.
Here's my drawing.
Cool. Yeah.
And then here's the Mandalorian armor that I was drawing.
Yes. So we watched one episode of The Mandalorian, and but we got to see Baby Yoda at least. Xavier, that's great. Are you guys still watching it? Like, is it still a good show?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I finished like season 1 and season 2.
Yeah,
I just-
season 3 hasn't coming out yet.
Okay.
I like Mandalorian, so I just drew like my own armor. I also created it out of cardboard too.
Like life size?
Yeah, like it fits me.
That's cool. All right, so I was trying to add these side rockets, and it's interesting because it's almost like I don't care whether I have them exactly right or not. It's more like that I have the left side and the right side matching up. So when I do I'm doing the both inside moments of the rockets so that I can tell that they're like equal distance off of the rocket that I made. So the center rocket, the golden one, I'm going to attach 2 rockets to it. So I want to make sure that they're like exactly symmetrical, exactly proportional on either side. So I did both insides. Now I can do the triangle tip. And then just make sure that that triangle is the same on both. Whew. Then the base of it is a trapezoid. Again, not fussing whether it's exactly like the example, more fussing that the left side and the right side are equal. And there's just the bottom of those boosters are just trapezoid after trapezoid. Angling in, angling out, angling in, angling out. There's this dark gray section that's underneath. Put that in. And then let's hope that this side lines up with my triangle. Cool. It's doing the trick. I know you guys have kind of finished, but I mean, this is basically as fast as I can go. And whatever you do to the left side, do the right side. Whether you do all of it or not, you know, there's this horizontal black line here. So I'm going to do that one and then line it up with the left side. There's another one towards the top. Line that up with the left side. Another towards the middle. Line that up. I guess there's 4. Interesting. And then, I mean, these bars have got to be some kind of alignment system. You know, so just at sight, you'd be able to be like, you know, a lot of times like architects and engineers, you know, they'll show up and they'll be like, that's not straight, you know, to a job site. And they're like, why is that not straight? You know, like you have to kind of pick up what's wrong. And trust me, I'm just making that up. Like I do not know whether that is in fact what these are for, but it would make sense. I mean, if the blocks on the left don't match the blocks on the right, something's not working. Everything should be a perfect mirror image of itself, especially when it comes to those rockets. Love it. I'm enjoying this. Thanks for sketching with me, y'all. I've been kicking around this these rockets ideas for a while, and I think I have the Tesla one that we should be able to. Let me crank out this last one. So it's going to be the bottom, and then there's the thickness. Both. As I'm sketching the outside, my eye is following the middle. I mean, I did the middle with a ruler, so I can let that be my guide. And if it tilts, if it turns, then I can tell with my own eye. And that's part of why we're doing this, is to train our eye.
Mr. Twist,
Sir.
I know something that might be cool that we could draw. The black dog logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, this logo.
Oh yes, we should definitely. And the reason I think we should is that it's so iconic, and it's such a handsome dog, and we can like look at photos of the dog and then see how the artist deviated from what they're observing in nature, and then what they actually included in the final drawing. And the dog, that company is. I don't think the company is like. I think that dog has gone through many iterations, so we could follow the history and see how the dog changed over the years, which I think would be interesting too. I wrote that down. But next week we're doing your wolf, though, right?
I mean, like for a warm up, we could draw that though, and then like the wolf drawing would be like the grand finale.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah, the black dog is it's iconic. USA. And then do you think this one has 3 boosters?
I think it's 4 because like
We just don't
it
see
probably copies itself. I think there are 4.
in the background. Yeah. Let's see. I'd love to hear about what what these black boxes mean. Like love to hear about it. Somebody knows that answer. I can erase some of my construction lines. If that center line isn't serving you anymore, get rid of it. It's almost like hiding your tricks a little bit. You know, like the center line is so essential to the artist. And you know, when there's no indication of it left, it's almost like you're covering your trails, but it makes the drawing look better. So, I mean, it's not really being dishonest. All right, let's see what we got. We're the this Tesla one. Is that it?
Yeah, that is not what I was expecting.
Well, of course, it's not what you're expecting. Tesla and
Yeah, it's a car
SpaceX and
brand.
Elon Musk are making an electrical powered spaceship, so it can have so much more fuel and go so much faster.
All right, let's see what we can do. So the first ones that we made were at angles, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to try to, and that's why, again, like center lines are so important. Like whether you're doing, figures or rockets, by establishing the right vector, the angle of the entire the entire set is going to set you on track to link up all the component parts. And this one doesn't have a pointed tip; it's got like a flat tip. And you can see like there's that kind of curving black triangle. And that's framed out by some metal. There are fins, you know, wingtips, fins, very much towards the top, which is a new addition. Again, I'm thinking in terms of symmetry. So whatever fin is happening on the left, I want it to show up on the right. It makes it harder because it's on a black background and these are black fins. But for the rest of the design, it's going to be it's basically a light object up against a dark ground. So initially these fins are problematic because of the darkness. But the dark background, I think ultimately is going to be better for the drawing. This rocket feels very narrow to me, and it's narrow all the way down. I don't know why this could be, but could the top of the rocket be thicker than the bottom? Look at this, from the flames to like the first kind of collar. I guess it's in kind of two parts, and maybe that breaks off too. You know, there's this unit which breaks off eventually. You know, and then it's got its own set of fins on the bottom. Um,
5-minute warning.
Thank you. So when you
That's gonna take like 2 seconds.
when you get to go to a once you get into a subject, when you start drawing it, it's basically poses more questions than it than it provides answers, and that's what you kind of want. Except the fact that maybe the first run at sketching something is not going to look good per se, but you wind up seeing things and asking questions that you would not have asked beforehand. In fact, like these horizontal, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 horizontal. They look like vents. Looks like a vent. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Venkill red sauce.
6. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to know what those are, but these are variations on this design from the NASA design, and so it's obviously an engineering variant.
Who else here votes that red Venkill?
What's it called?
Who else here votes that red Venkill?
Mr. Twist, I just saw a cardinal.
Yeah, that could be my favorite. It could be my favorite bird. The Cardinal's been loving our. We got him this like super fancy sunflower seeds, and they've just been like really.
They've just been like scarfing him down.
I mean, the Cardinals have. It's like we don't have any other birds.
I don't blame them because sunflower seeds are good.
I mean, I'm not. That'll be the last time I get them though, because the other seed that we had, there were so many more varieties of birds, and it was like a seedless thing. It wasn't cheap either, but we don't like to have the shells all over the porch because they mold and they like just get gnarly. So I'll get the seedless ones again, because I mean, we had like a bunch of woodpeckers and we had some finches. Maybe it's just the time of the year. I mean, maybe it's because the Cardinals don't really migrate. So I think they're here all winter.
I mean, it's spring, so like it's now the time to do that.
Well, I mean, if they were right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they've been around, but the other birds that are coming up from the south, may not be here yet. I mean, it's spring, but it's very early spring. So this is interesting. So there's the metal is really reflective, Where the other one was painted opaque colors. When I say opaque, meaning like you can't see through them. This is just sheer metal. So it's so shiny. So like I'm looking at this black collar that's at the base of the rocket, and it's black paint, but it's varnished so shiny that even the black part has some reflection to it. And I'm looking at the rest. There's like a highlight and a low light. It's just a different drawing when you're drawing a shiny object versus a painted object, and that's also something interesting to consider. And even the painted objects have a glossy finish, and I hadn't known that before either. Whoa, look at those things. Those look like they look almost like coffin shapes. Do you see that?
It's 5 o'clock.
4:59.
All right. So this shape that I called a coffin, it got narrow at the bottom. It's like two trapezoids combined, where the bottom trapezoid is, longer, and then the top one is thinner, shorter. And that happens right underneath. Those look like they could be ventilation valves as well. Anyway, at least I hope this class got you thinking. And that's the other thing. Look at this up here in the vents, the striped vents. I thought there was a break in it. It's not. They're all just shiny.
Mr. Twist, it's 5 o'clock now.
All right. Let me stop the share. Let me see what you guys got. Can I see? Other than digital masks. I'm going to pin whoever's up first. Coulter, let's see yours, bud. Pin. Yes. Nice planet. All right. USA, babe. USA. Is that did you do any, is it that all on that one page?
Yeah.
Sweet. That's great stuff. All right, Miles, I'm gonna pin you next. Replace pin. Cool. That was the latest one, I can tell. You got any others? Let me see the other page. Xavier, you're coming up next. Actually, Charlie's next, and then Xavier.
I didn't do the last one. I was trying to make the Star Trek ship.
That's okay. No, I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, whatever this inspires.
Yeah, here's it.
Cool. Yes. Okay. Love it. Yeah, that one looked like it was getting a little out of control on that right side. Okay, replace pin. That's a nice spread. Cool. Did you have center lines or did you erase them?
No.
Yeah. Charlie, you.
No.
Wow, that's very good. Yeah, you don't need to have the center lines. I just found them very helpful. But yours doesn't even. You can't even tell that there weren't. Xavier, I'm replacing your pin. Replace. Excellent. That looks like you invented your. Oh wow, nice. That's the last one, right? Cool. It's almost. It looks nice, almost like by itself on that page. What about the first ones? Did you get those?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Great. Massive boosters. And then the warm-ups. The warm-ups is really exciting. The second warm-up looks great on yours. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. I don't know if you talked to any of your friends that are normally in this class, like I don't know who else is in here, but just remind them, because I think a lot of people are gone for spring break, and if you know anybody else, we're gonna keep this going. So I think it's getting towards the end of the term, so just let everybody know. All right, we'll see you next week.
I mean, we're virtual in Gilman, so maybe some kids forget because we school goes out at 2 and then they start having fun and then they forget they have drawing or they have their COVID tests. They have their COVID tests.
God, COVID tests. When is this thing going to be over? All right, I will send out an email to everybody, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Hi, Mr.